data to all of you. So me and my team will be representative about Lajak Laku Tablet in December 2020. So for the further explanation, I would like to call upon one of my teammates, which Mr. Fidaus.
Okay, thank you to Mr. Ifat. Yeah. For my part, I will describe about the three type of data. First and foremost is about numerical data. There are three figures here. First one is about relative density against frequency. And the next one is about tensile strength against frequency. And the last one is about weight against frequency. Okay, this one is about tabular data. As you all can see here, is about a table, a two table. First table tell us about weight, relative density, and tensile strength. Follows the data below. And the next table tell us about row labels, count of shift, average of weight, average of relative density, average of tensile strength. Next. Last but not least, is about a graphical data. As we all can see here, is about a pie chart of time. For the first color, green is for night. For the blue one is for evening, and for the red one is for morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fidaus, for the explanation about the data that we collect in December 2020. Next, I would like to call upon Mr. Shah Indrawan for the further explanation.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad Ifat. I will explain about the B, which is we need to comment about whether there is a significant evidence that Lajak Laku Tablets produced in December, which do follow the distribution. The distribution is basically normal distributions, which is standard deviation 14 mg and mean 350. First of all, we need to do the chi-square test. Hence, this is the frequency table as shown, which has 200 frequency. Then the chi-square test value, sum of the chi-square test value is 5.7729. The H null for this data is the data follow normal distribution with mean 350 and variance 14 square. The H alternative, the data do not follow the normal distribution. For the chi-square test, we take the alpha, which is 0.05. From the table, we can get the chi-square test, which is 14.0671, which is also the critical value. The decision rules for this test is we reject H null if chi-square test larger than x squared critical value. So our decision is H null is accepted and there is no evidence to reject H null since the chi-square test is equal to 5.7729. So the conclusion we can get from this question B is the Lajak Laku tablets produced in December 2020 does follow distribution. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shah Irawan, for the explanation about table frequency and decision for FDA, which is Food and Drug Administration. Next, I would like to call upon Mr. Rezwan for the further explanation.
Thank you, Mr. Ifat, for calling me. So now we will determine either there is any significant difference between tablet weights from the different shifts. So for this question, we need to sort the weight of sample data given according to the shift which are morning, evening, and night. So first, then we will conduct one way ANOVA by using Excel, and we will get the result or the data. So we need to determine our H null and our H1 first. So our H null is mean morning equal to mean evening equal to mean night, and our H1 is mean morning is not equal to mean evening and not equal to mean night. So based on the result we get from one way ANOVA, the F calculated is 0.9418 and our F critical is 3.0418. So for the decision rule, we will reject our H null if our F calculated is greater than F critical. Therefore, from the result we obtain, we will accept our H null since there is not enough evidence to reject H null as our F calculated 0.9418 is smaller critical which is 3.0418. So for the conclusion, there is no significant difference between tablet weight from the different shifts. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rezwan, for the explanation about significant difference between tablet weights from the different shift in December 2020. Next, I would like to call upon um, Mr. Hafiz Dika for the further explanation.
Thank you, Mr. Rifat. I will explain about the tensile strength of tablet based on the data in December. So, we want to know what is the value of tensile strength if the density is 68%, 74.3%, and 80.1%. We know that from the studies that the tensile strength depends on the relative rigidity. So we take tensile strength as the y and the relative rigidity as x. We will use the simple linear regression method to obtain this prediction. The value that we get for the intercept is 0.0183 and the x variable is 0.0809. Using the equation y equals to 0.0809x plus 0.0183, we obtain the result for the relative density 68%. We have tensile strength and for the value of 74.3, we also have obtained the tensile strength. So the conclusion is the model that is used to carry out this prediction is valid because the relationship between relative and tensile strength is strong since most of the points lies on the line the scatter plot. So that's it for my explanation. I will give back to Ifa.
Thank you, Mr. Hafiz Dika. Therefore, the explanation of Lajak Laku that describing the status production in December 2020 is still reliable in the market. That's all from us, the presentation. Thank you.